Barakatay Hawa, Barakatay Hawa Shai. Barakatay Hawa, Barakatay Hawa Shai. Barakatay Hawa, Barakatay Hawa Shai. All praise to Yahweh by Shema Shai. Double honors to the elders and apostles that rule well, and salutations to the brothers that's doing the truth with sincerity. Now this is some more prophecy going on with the Philippines. The Lord got floods and storms and landslides, killing them off, basically persecuting them, man. And this isn't the first time this happened. I think this is like the second storm this year, and then they had another one that they still haven't recovered from. But that's all prophecy, man. Because you got a lot of the tribes over there, one, and then the heathens getting their ass persecuted also. So I'm going to start the clip. Actually, there's two clips I'm going to put on.
Flash floods and mudslides brought on by tropical storm Tembin. The towns of Tubod and Piagapo on Mindanao Island, the Philippines' second largest, have been devastated. Dozens of homes are destroyed, and rescue workers fear the number of casualties will rise.
We're really on our toes right now, and we're trying to figure out how we can give help to so many people that are really in danger.
At the height of the storm, winds of up to 80 kilometers an hour uprooted trees and triggered torrents of mud and rock from a nearby mountain. Volunteers are digging with whatever they can to try and recover bodies. Power cuts and the loss of communication lines have hampered rescue efforts.
The terrain is kind of rough. There are a lot of rocks, and the area is pretty wide. It's not just in one province, but in several provinces. So we're having a hard time trying to communicate to other areas that may have been affected.
Last week, 46 people were killed in the central Philippines in a similar storm. The Philippines is hit by around 24 major cyclones each year on average, many of them deadly. But Mindanao Island, home to 20 million people, is rarely hit. The region is still recovering from Typhoon Haiyan, which killed more than 7,000 people and affected millions in 2013. And while the worst of Storm Tembin has passed, it will take a long time before this area recovers. Imtiaz Tide, Al Jazeera.
Yep, so the Lord fucking their ass up over there in the Philippines, man. They ain't getting shown no love. Like I said, a lot of them Israelites and a lot of them are heathens, man. The heathens got to pay for us being put in slavery and going through what we going through now today.
The devastation. More death and destruction as emergency responders continue to...
That's all the Lord bringing to them, man, is death and destruction. This is Psalm chapter 68, verse 20. It says, He that is our power is the power of salvation, and unto the Most High, Yahweh Shema Shai, belongeth the issue from death. Right, so see what they said. The first thing they said was death and destruction. That land is being destroyed over there, man. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 9, verse 1. He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself. Right, so we know we're supposed to be watching these prophecies with diligence. That's how we measure the time. And when thou seest part of the signs pass which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Right, and that's what you see happening right here, man. The Lord is visiting this world.
Full bodies from the devastation of Tropical Storm Tembin that hit the Philippines' second largest city, Mindanao. Flash floods and landslides washed away homes, turning streets into rivers. Dozens are still missing. and rescue workers fear the number of casualties will rise, as forecasters predict more heavy rains to bring even more floods and landslides. Families and neighbors stand heartbroken as more bodies are recovered.
That's what they get, man.
Malapit na sa mga bahay.
The flood was already close, and the people were not able to get out of their homes. The flood was so strong that it swept away houses.
Emergency responders say rock
This world is going to be put up under the subjection of Yahweh Shema Shai. All nations are going to have to come to us, through the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shai to worship and get the law, statutes, and commandments. And anybody that doesn't want to hear the law, statutes, commandments, and act accordingly shall not have rain. And they're going to be, beaten as it's in Revelations, beating the shivers, something to that effect, man. That's why these things is happening. That's exactly why these things is happening, man.
and boulders, some as big as cars, were washed down the mountain and buried scores of homes in the town of Piagapo. More than 20,000 people have been displaced in a region already ravaged by the government's fight against ISIL-linked groups. Aid organizations have criticized the government's response.
This is something that shouldn't be a surprise to the Philippine government
It's always a
and
woman.
to the Philippines. So it is also very questionable when the government is not prepared to give relief and to give help to the people when these things happen, because they should be ready.
The Philippines is hit with over 24 tropical storms every year, but the island of Mindanao is rarely affected. Timbin struck on Friday with winds over 80 kilometers per hour, hurling mud and rocks from a nearby mountain. Tropical Storm Timbin is now heading over the South China Sea, and forecasters warn it may hit Vietnam by Monday. Mohammed Al-Bardisi, Al Jazeera.
So the Lord been jacking the world up as a whole, man. This is Psalm chapter 83, verse 15. It says, "So persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm." Right, and that was a storm that brought that destruction and devastation to that region over there, man. This is Second Ezra chapter 8, verse 50. "For many great miseries shall be done to them that in the later time shall dwell in the world." Right, and you seen down in that lady's face, she was crying and everything. That's a misery unto her, just as well as it is up unto them other people, man. Because they have walked in great pride, right? And they walking in pride. A lot of them Israelites that don't want to come back to the truth, and a lot of them is just straight wicked. As in accordance to the doctrine of our shot, man. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 39, verse 28. It says, "There be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction they pour out their force, and appease the wrath of him that made them. Fire and hail and famine and death." So those are all spirits, man. That water is a spirit too, man. That storm that happened is a spirit. The angels control all of that, man. Um, it says in famines, and he say and it's there. He say there was a lot of little provinces that they haven't reached yet. So with all that flooding going on, and them houses being washed away, and then people not having no aid, a lot of them people are dying from starvation, man. A lot of the kids, the babies, probably that was just newly born, dying. People that have medical issues are dying. Old women that couldn't get up out them houses and shit, are dying. It says fire and hail and famine and death. All those were created for vengeance. So that's the revenge, or the vengeance of the Lord, man, for what y'all done to his people, man. And for the 2/3 of Israel, that's because they want to be wicked. It says, "All these were created for vengeance, teeth of wild beasts and scorpions." serpents, and the sword, punishing the wicked to destruction. Right. So if they got alligators and everything over there, them alligators and are eating them people, man. If they got animals that's going through the same thing that can't eat the natural food that they normally eat or hunt the way they normally hunt, then them people are getting eaten by animals also, man. It says teeth of wild beasts and scorpions, serpents, and the sword, punishing the wicked to destruction. It says they shall rejoice in his commandment, and they shall be ready upon earth when need is. Right. So, them angels ready to do their job. And when their time is come, they shall not transgress his word. This is Ezekiel chapter 9, verse 1. He cried also in mine ears with a loud voice, saying, cause them that have charge over the city to draw near. And that's talking about the angels. Even every man with his destroying weapon in his hand, right? So the angels ain't white, naked babies with flying wings. These angels have destroying weapons, and they got charge over these cities, man. And behold, 6 men came from the way of the higher gate, which lieth toward the north, and every man a slaughter weapon in his hand. And one man among them was clothed with linen, with a writer's inkhorn by his side. And they went in and stood beside the brazen altar. And the glory of the Most High of Israel, the power of Israel, was gone up from the cherub. Whereupon he was to the threshold of the house, and he called to the man clothed in linen, which had the writer's inkhorn by his side. And the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. So that's the Lord's elect crying behind all this bullshit, man. That's why we put these videos up. We get the mark of exemption from what's to come, from the destruction to come, man. It says, and to the others he said in mine hearing, go ye after him through the city and smite. Let not your eyes spare, neither have ye pity. Right, so the angels kill, man. And a lot of them people over there being killed and put to death. It says, slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children and women, but come not near any man upon whom is the mark, and begin at my sanctuary, begin at the children of Israel. That's why a lot of these Israelites dying and going through stuff like that. Then they began at the ancient men which were before the house, right, man? So the Lord said 2/3 were going to be cut off and die anyway. So this is Zechariah chapter 13, verse 8. It says, and it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein. Right, so 2/3 got to be put to death, man. So what's going on over there is gonna happen worse over here, because America is the number one pusher of all this wickedness. So, but yeah, with that being said, all praise to Yahweh Shema Shai. Double honors to the elders and apostles that rule well, and salutations to the brothers that's doing the truth. Shalom.